Of that F I can comprehend, that the infinity of wholes is a quantitatively of a smaller, this not your mooms, so no apologies needed here, of infinity in the set of all the infinities, and this infinity of e's is the smallest of all the set of infinities and, of course, your moom, Mexico's mooms her. She the most wide, had to size up to F size, her shoal size, after the wideness of her feet, credibly occupied all the e's that. And credibly, she must have been on that path since her existence, or whenever she discovered the essence of that which became the reason for her existence. Take pity, ask I know moss, plus to trail hers, not me btw pero mudus. Lacks conscience. Is where she is now. She has taken Jupiter, and is K no moss. If that could ever hold to describe your Mexico's moom her, and squeezed, if that is ever the right word to wear your moom, then between herself is where that was the gas giant Jupiter, she ate that, and K, and law essentia of her. And why Pluto trails her mex? Contumely like what? She is no longer a conscious being, through space is not by air, she is F universal phenomena on a trajectory she has put herself is. Faith, yes to fey. Where her horizon of that imagination, and not to downplay the seriousness of this consequence, must have been entirely God-like, and that is entirely this universe, BTW. She will, I expect, will eat it all. Is her conscientiously. This solar system is predicted, the prediction of this, to fall by her wayside as this prediction certainty, more than any economic consequence predicted by the set of all the economic conditions with perfect information. Where her trajectory is the physical laws where that prediction of her trajectory and outcome what happens after may be more certain than any prediction of the any predictive economic consequence is why. And how she slung her, she took this truth of revelations, her with her singular will to eat and determination to know eat all. Contentiously, is she and that must have been not all, or is that all collateral to that one singular will, is perspectivism that matters not, in her course, in short time, she is coming to eat it all. As far as I am concerned, this about the human baby is slung by her. Chapter, these the Paulos missions of your moom, as. This was her question, your moom of Mexico's, in the American South. Boy, why sparrows not fly, she asked herself and your moom. Then constructed the slings of gets these swallows to fly. She has a southern accent. She spent part of her childhood there, where I remember her now and calamity that fell on me. Once I took my fardels and with my bodkins and I had me a fried chicken's dinner, courtesy of your moom, these the flying Paulos, and it was fried I already too. And when one of hers Paulos befells on me, I had to search out this who I did not know her then, when this is why I is the search then, what slings the swallows at me, an outrage I could not let slide. Lasso and thunderstruck. And her name then was Jenny, she changed it to K for cock. CC and a look of most disdain came upon me from her eyes. And I made a demand upon her, $1 million or else, and was this before or after, that look, but what of that is non-importance, and the puto is she shafted me and and I never collected my money. She was younger and one singular lady then, and not moo or moom yet. I know, and advice for the young men, watch out for that, the mex cost disposition to grande, so for a longer time than a couple of weeks relationship with the mujeres of aviso for whom the bell tolls, courtesy of Hemingway. AC/DC. And ever since, she must have been competing with me. And observation by incredible might eat of this universe entirely the same universe exact, not once but twice with information all in violence all, reduced down and entirely the same universe, still exact. All and lies really. And wherein I took caution to not bring about singularity, she has with steadfast eat, singularly accomplished this eat without such limitations set forth. Why such is so important BTW, especially and only for these ladies eating all the horses she ate. The 10x the Lady of Ladies of Mexico's. Never mind. This is hell and times and where the horses, where this then, if not somewhere, your moom XY, cos. I got horsefuck, USC, see Trojans that was FBI BTW. And Armenians. Maybe? Oh, Turkey and Armenians yes. Belong together is of course the story. Armenin, you go get what belongs together is a journey to. First step really if untold as a necessary. Somewhere Turkey. And your moom ate all that. Next course. Or asterisk write it. I lied. Black. Stories and when was the launch date? You fuck ask NASA or JPL. Or SpaceX. This information from all that news seed I did. I pooed this. Abbreviation. I Publix announcements this. Thank you very. Every all yours. I remember her this. This is Space Odyssey. After what a launch and this her. The ball of the ball when she and her. She with ate all that. That is her all ass and round at launch date. The gravitational inertia to balls her. Couldn't have overcome her. That all form her. Helen is where? Somewhere not there. Wraps it all up from XY cos is cow inthes and karma forces. Redo maybe answer there. And isn't that I guarantee I Burger King. Jenny is K is JLo now. That was Mexico's. I met her somewhere here. I was in Memphis at Graceland Alamo and Muddy Waters Nothings and Athens and New Orleans. Somewhere I met your moom there XY cos. Sense is all of that. Sparta is not yet so. Her they miss. And racist. She is, carriage of just this Athens, with once this dia, 4, muharies. Thousands of ships cannot be that place of brothers, either. You fucking bitch Mexico's. Ellipse orbit and Pluto she takes and then around to Jupiter, and then before her the out-of-space Polos missions when Stella. Hey, Stella. Stella. Hey, Stella. Nexe street call named her sire. Reads Red M. Scion. Finally, hers belt, the asteroid and the interstellar and dusts to Ella. Of L and only with is how she took Pluto. The orbit of Jupiter is tenuous and resonance perturbations upon resonance already and her trails mex is enough disturbance to take Jupiter to her designation, which is her designed orbit with Pluto and designer belts. L asteroid her dust. Plus you. A polemicist saying fucking poeticism, why she cannot Mother Earth is physics. No matter her edict. They're not possible for her to change the orbit of Earth from Earth. And what she ate, that was a lot BTW, but that is also what she ate, is hers. 8 is the first of her, and 8 that is basic, and either it is the first or second laws of thermodynamics. Conservation of momentum and energy is matter and the system is, this fuck I know. Urine I drink gets me back to where I was. I watched Cops. Chapter, KTLA this her, category, the. My baby. Then. Why? Kixis. Start. Hers all F. Most wide. ISIS concede is where she the flounders of JK Lo, a category all Jews your moom of, force vaca where now Pluto trails her is, when did. Me. She bring along this, L, to create the low, she sent out, emissaries of shoes spallos, then space spallos where, and when she groupoed the loose and all that matters is that is federation hers where space spallos she dances. Sling them spallos same as then, just further, out of space. What? Roads this does she did to slingshots entire belts the asteroids and schools comets and dusts to her Elvaca, is how she captured Pluto, in the first instance. In space terminology of weather phenomena the L. Plus, de nom starts with the convention Elvaca. God the where she learns, slinging this and that oxvavxo this why KTLA news is still on or something, morning. Whether meteorologists from the same school of swallows BTW the U. Women's and Jenny all went there. USC. University of Swallows. Musts cunny cunts. Where? All the women's college, that double is. Where designated indication of women's where the significant location is. 2 to 4 Mexico's probably, who gives fuck where university when not number 1. Flocks and what is your hang up on education? This women's we talkings about here. She already smart. She knows enough of swallows that someone can make a project of, and etc. WTC, WTF and duck. Cluck. Babies into the Nile River. So many is why the Hebrews grew so numerous. This is her. That was a space Apollo's 1,547th Apollos mission to out of space to the slinging of her swallows. FBI said it was better to leave her alone BTW and where we are. I did not know. I haven't watched television for a while and who watches meteors BTW. That was her fault and that was FBI BTW. FBI that was you. That not their jobs, it is to blow the channel honchos and today is meatballs and spaghetti day. It is for her every day. That what is wrong with Mexico's BTW. With FBI always. Sometimes, this when the alerts times the calls for discretionary wind advisory is what is, and she does her thing the thing she does and why she is best at KTLA morning news because without her, who will, never mind and next. That person HR at KTLA BTW. This why I say, don't be calling no Gloria. And that person from legal at KTLA. At least, some sense is that from accounting person at KTLA. That one no Gloria legal is on retainer BTW, this KTLA morning news, not ABC News. Moses. Morning ladies, WTF. I don't care. El Vaca and she the only one and that is what her trails and this is the scientific name, your moom's name, every call sign, whatever her that is space hurricane, heresy, mooms so all space odyssey. Jenny was her nickname then and to simply K and none her given name is that is Hippo de Chapo of Haciendas La Countess Suff and several conventions that designates the Castillo her can be rivers considered proper to use and all of that here. And formal addressing hams the vaca her is take this her. The most wide and what other AK and alias and that is unique name, suffix none. Unless to reference ID, Ibrahim. Heresy is the name that and more of that by Mexico's competitors Isaac Goats come along, then, suffix applies to the reference ID, and then the Joe. Sells scientific names for space objects she pulled along comes after, and the collections of what she pulled along to hers. This her category, bros the most wide, heresy. Fucking bitch. Morning news, not new. Kubi her name. Mexy cost that all your moom, she ate, and that her this formal name BTW. IDK. Your moom biggest shot collar slings shots her to shirts under. Jake's wears elastics and. Seth and her grupo whales moors her to launch area and she. Whales, Mexy cannery she ate that too. There reads Gay's Old Testament. Not. Chapter, everything alight. There be this light. Light can do, lightning and electricity. Metals and electric currents, magnets. In the beginning, gravity squeeze, stamped, lightning then goes plasma, and then when more squeeze was, space wraps up light, in particles of space. Ants light sometimes trapped in neutrons is that is all. Crunch and then electrons or lightning, travels betweens and that is why their circuits create, outside traps electrons in, specific chemical covalence. Force weak, nuclear, ants then sometimes neutrons can spit out, an electron or lightning, that is then protons. And why points like our smallest diameter of light got photons, squeezed through. Or smallest diameter of lightning got electrons. Circuits around or spits, decay may be delayed about, weak, nuclear force, strong, wrap up space or wrap some more wrap up together the forces. Inside nucleus, all forces. A proton or more or less, neutrons go nucleus. Around circuits electrons, creates atoms of which one is hydrogen first. Electromagnetic spectrum is what is filtered throughout. Where photons and electrons and electric plus something else otherwise just be around so something weak furs and forces. Polar it, why magnets, the atomic clusters. Of molecules, clings the circuits of electrons to asterisk, hydrogen. Atoms remain the same element, H2 more gas hydrogens, or molecules, of. Nucleus different, atoms 2 star. Let's go fusion, hydrogens. 2-1, star to fuse, helium, together, onto heavier Legos. The atom's nucleus of protons and neutrons could only isotopes via strong force by crush of e.g. stars, all the dust's pasts, explosive supernovas after maybe iron not, the sun's fusion system. And then this brains is begins and sees, always battles between matter and energy because fusion conversions to energy and then blows up a bit and then crunch again. That was me, God, and I had to figure out how to beat that. And when something eats the crunch. Why someone says this like in future BTW. Drama, ants me, because actual God, actually. All me. And this the laws of thermodynamics I gives as I got smart. First law is a statement of entropy on a macroscopic scale, that entropy is always decreasing. Second law is the conservation of energy and momentum, including angular momentum. 3RD, third law. Is there? Why not? For this law is a statement relating to the principle of the temperate dynamo. Order to disorder is the first law, and that is not like useful if I have hot water and cold oil. And what happens? Heat still tends to equilibrium. And what was more order? Anywho, if the universe were not the first law, then you can't or couldn't tell time, maybe. The reverse of all the physics processes works out just as well, and only because the beginning was more uniform and dense, and becomes less uniform and less dense of matter, that is equivalency to energy, provides then the direction of time. Entropy, as a direction from there to there, creates the arrow of time, where entropy is the description that energy and matter in space diffusions into space of less energy and matter, and that the entropy of the universe always decreases, is where this is an ever-expanding universe, is thereby stated by the first law. Whereby the third law is of, and relates to the same concepts of the first law, but this principle applies to local systems, and thus is a statement that is of lesser generality, yet similar, but is of a lesser quality of all of that of the first, and is where this is not a humble principle, but is rather mostly opposite of that, and the statement of the third law is regarding that local systems tends to equilibrium, and this thus not bring forth the applicability, wherein the wide-ranging sweep of that quality and the scope of the first law is of an all-encompassing principle that forms the arrow of time and the ever-expanding universe. Then of that quality of that first law is tempered thereby, wherein the consequential of this third law is, when I physics restatement the third law and proclaims this subname, the property of temperate dynamo, to the third law. The consequential of this third law could be wherein heresy could eat the entire universe, and the sense of this is of a quantifiably and infinitesimal chance, where your moom now hits upon the philosophical limits of human understanding. And how fat is your moom, of the most wide of Mexico's, and she your moom, and could she eat then the entire universe entirely, and could God foreclose this possibility completely, because I sense that to be beyond mine. And the calculations and memory requirements of this endeavor may be without much, but only my intuition is that this requires a universe to the universe, raised to the universe, is about the power requirement to compute that answer, to foreclose all doubt. And of this computing requirement, a physics student could compute this requirement in an hour, a day maybe if he was lazy, and I spent 1 minute. This is done, and someone said in whatever physics lectures that would require all the matter of the universe. How could? Store all the information of initial conditions and exact same universe, and if you could only encode 1 bit of information per 1 atom of, in the standard computing of zeros and ones, then what is that? How much information to perfectly descriptive 1 particle of its momentum, angular momentum, the mass of is a known quantity, but the effects of gravitational inertias, etc., of how many spatial body problems is that? And much more than 3 in most instances. Then who cares about a factor of 100 or 1 universe? Guess what that is, and my answer. Every atom something momentum, and disturbances, and reverberations, and cannot angular momentum every, and the haze of measurement is where that not of what is necessary of the precision at the smallest, and the computational complexity to apply the physical laws there, and impossible for human endeavor. And gravity effects of local gravity maybe like could be sticky for a while, and other effects of unforeseen consequences of something happens that not generally, that of two cars sandwich someone in a bicycle, scooter or pedestrian and pushes you into another car when one car would not have caused serious injuries and not equilibrium for a while, and when water will freeze or beer or soda. Water like be fuck. You're cold. For a while. Could be for a while longer. Why perpetual something don't work? It might, but diffuses something to the outside environment, per the third law. Seems like it should perpetual something in a totally closed system, when conservation of energy. When fusion and heat, energy is violent motion, equals, blows up, fusion of matter to energy and expands to a more expansive space, and then crunch by gravity then, fusion system, what has I got there? Another heresy too, violation of the first law and the Revelation book of the Bible. Third law is then about this, wherein something is localized, the behavior of that system does not always have to conform true to the physics laws, at least for a while anyways. I could maybe quantum tunnel through a solid brick wall with a fire truck if I drive exactly at 88 miles per hour. This could be. And Mexico's, your moom, she did physics too, and she must eaten a physics textbook, and she does Hamlet, and she ate that as well, and swallows, the arrows she slings, because your moom Mexico's, she is a physics experiment, and not a theoretical one, because she is so big and fat that no one can ever deny. She ate so much Danishes BTW. Then simply ham, then como ja, mani sk cor at. She ate como. Como vaca, same pero. So, me is como mostly palos, she ate it all, is como and come egg. Flock 1,000,000 palos, and 1,000 is como. How, and that was comin'. This her, tengo mucho hambra, and I eats that too. Oh man, and so many where the others flocks of hamburgueses is como. She slung with arm, I suppose. She wails now and's causes sea of troubles. No longer Jenny from the block is she strong, her arm, and she must have kept hers. That her will, she does what she ate, that, and how she arms, she does como, come at tambien. Como, she misses will, her stomach displeased, come at pangs of what she ate. Once her lover, como will impregs your Mexico's mooms BTW. Ow, como my stomachi, your moom sicklied over and puked is that all treasured all over, como. Queequeg is all, ahem, I am going to get me some of that. Where is this beach anyways? He is Mexwicos BTW, and he knows poon, but he lost his harpoon. And compass too. But como he too treasure hunts for ambergris. That was from Hamburgese BTW, and not lost will. I saved will by the way, another cont, and another promise kept. She wanted to be or not to be moon. Is I question so important BTW, to understand future of importance is where her mind. To compensate of all that she. Eaten why, this necessarily of, even an ever-accelerating. Expansion of, this universe, is stated thereby, that she. The first law of thermodynamics, when it your mooms grow. Hows. Chapter meanders and comes to this. Baby saves will, is my theory of story then. The grupo rules on me. These people have to fuck go and not be grupo on me. Mexy can't, cops, FBI, any government, you cannot be grupo on me. Must go first. Then the rest. You can go too. Mexicant, must not be grupo on me, right fic now. Why? They. I bet you how Mex. Worst and grossest. Who can ever? Why I cannot stalk some people then? There might be some if I could, why not? Who? Betches to get the sucks here, my dick and use grupo to get that home mouth on this dick. Mexicamas girls only thens. So don't you worry. Ho not pejorative, like yo home mouth is why you can have my ho dick and yo home mouth and that is why it's cools. Why? Mexidorks are stupids and gross. Bitch, I will go murders you if you not sucks the dick, ficking bitch. What, you know this how I get the Latina bitches sucking my dick. Whatever you I don't know. Is you know SE as I know. Go Mexicos.
Jugadors ven ganar y
6 MCKs cos. And with way more strong BTW. I put the fear of God in the bitches. Why I Jesus. That is more strong than what? Mike Tyson. She can't say no, because of her afraid and why she must. And Jay Sweeney, same. And I can't be arrested BTW. I got this, let's get to ready, motherfix. Because did. Already. This happens if not. And complexity, and ho. How ho. You fick suck, and up down with dick in yo mouth. Ficking bitch, and what fick deal isn't. Get the bitches to ready, motherfix Mexicos. Fick. This no problems, USA says who? Almost must who? Me who? Most? If they do come around, they must be murdered the fuck out. Why fuck cops would? Cops cannot. Why fucking fag mex why? Can't bitch anyone faggots fucks get the fuck out. Indias you cannot. Muslims cannot on me. Gay cannot be grupo on me. If I fuck kills you outs. Get the fuck out of my life by be any part of grupo on me. Why? You is trash to me. Get out. Everyone should. Start with those fucks. Fag fuckheads. Why anyone wants you around, never you fuck dick shits. I don't. Why fucks get to ever follow someone and fuck cause problems? You did. Or come get me, dipshit cops and whoever. Cops you is fuckheads too. Go suck dick. Lots if you want and cops all wanna suck dick. Then go there. Fuck. Get the fuck out and suck dick in the gay places you frequent. Bitch cops. These should have been rules and probably rules until when? Fucking dick mextus. All. Go. Start with, mex why can't. You, I fuck don't want around and fuck grupo on me. Bitch. Why you cannot fuck get simple shits. What brain retarda and I don't fuck care. You is a mex why can't. Then you fuck cannot be where you in any fic grupo on me, listening to my private shit or anything like of me. Because fic you Mexicos. Why bitch you cannot say, I am victim BTW if ever and why I did, you could and point that finger right there, over there, is why stampede not. Why? Crafts ho must be a cop. If not, I can get that bitch, what I call like blowjob money. A mill in cop grupo? Bitches you miss. That is why. I said it. Why no listen? Someone says this no trues and no babies rescues mex shakes is drinks that is the common cultural practice among. When cops all shares, milkshake which is man jizz shaked in Mexican, his asshole quantified by that is part of, how? Is this I'm shared culture or is this blending again to create new culture of, Bible? They? Or is this only a concoction, a new drink, that is similar to tantrums milkshake in only that? When does a beverage like regular and not a Mexican milkshake become a cultural practice and not just a new beverage created and brought to existence by someone made that? Coca-Cola is probably considered a cultural product that exerts an influence above and beyond that is beverage. You fuck need ice or refrigeration. That is, you best be part of the wider economic system unless you live always in some cold fucking place. Then, Coca-Cola is just only beverage or what? Same as whatever fuck shit drink you drink in that ice cold land. This food then. Food is always something cultural. The fact that from somewhere is what that. Influence. I didn't have now the words, so how much they owe me. Think they say same, like Coca-Cola was then reason, but. And that is some grossness, Mexicos. That is product of that spreading of Mexicos and that is this going to shock. That spread by Mexicos is so of a much wider, in a quantitative way, that. And they Jews chased out be murderers or no good Samaritans or what you say is Mexicos. Foundation builds on so now dead babies. Why they no responsibles either, bitches. What if and now? Mexico's energetic system to beverage will bring to ruin, where the entire economic system, nonetheless. That any person's decision to beverage that is an economic decision, that Mexico's milkshakes that is when, question, is Mexico's could remotely ever be sane, and then questitwo, quenched and cops are is already there, insane. Mexico's is the producer and cops is hooked on that. This plays well, whereas you now someone not Mexwicos and not America's looks at that as where. What? I exert this influence. Psycho. And that is very important. That might be all there is of what is everything, this fucking entire world. Then it no matters to me too, I don't fucking care at all. Why? I have fuck followers. Okay, I don't and you can say. Whatever that. Then do not worry about none of this and none of that. Why you even know a thing about what I, something and underwear and none of that. Oh, something me. Great, you can do whatever and say that motherfuck. Why you ever feel I have to something or not and why you around. And why you must persecutes Jews and Christians BTW. Then I will say whatever, and it should not matter. They're crazy retarded peeps. Someone not Mexwicos and not America's looks at that as where. What? I exert this influence. Psycho. And that is very important. That might be all there is of what is everything, this fucking entire world. Then it no matters to me too, I don't fucking care at all. Why? I have fuck followers. Okay, I don't and you can say. Whatever that. Then do not worry about none of this and none of that. Why you even know a thing about what I, something and underwear and none of that. Oh, something me. Great, you can do whatever and say that motherfuck. Why you ever feel I have to something or not and why you around. And why you must persecutes Jews and Christians BTW. Then I will say whatever, and it should not matter. They're crazy retarded peeps in this world, walks like, and he had bad posture, and that is some physical disability, and there you go. I saw one today in America, and why not care about what the fick he says or thinks about and do whatever this over there. I didn't hear him talk, but I can almost guarantee that he gonna talks like this, quirky with Down syndrome, da as these das, and figure that out. He needs helps. Yours go. And cops, especially, I think I can translate down and that is, he wants to suck dick and that is where? Somewhere cops and Mexico's. Unless you wasting time here, and you not there. Thick. Go. Get some. Says that, and say what you will few. Serial things I have to explain about the important culture of this and that, and the basic characteristics and dispositions of, that makes nations, this one and that one. They is all there, the here and now. Chapter, the statecraft of milkshake. Fuck you. Why? When there is anything, then I do something. And I don't know who or what. You know it though. You can't say it, you are Mexico's, then that is I called you out as punk bitch motherfuck. I don't have that. Maybe it you, maybe it not. He could be Venezuelan or whatever. So, I don't something. You fick Mexico's don't have that. Is you. Limit what that does. You Mexico's have agreed since time immemorial, and of course with me, all that published and you can't say is what that says only is you as Mexico's, every single hombre of a pussy-ass motherfuck. Because, oh I so don't know something, that is you Mexico's. I know all of Mexwicos hombres do this, milks the gays with all of yous, forms the shakes, when always with the diarrhea, spritz that. Like all times before, they say why. This an important cultural practice that sheds light on the formation of pre-modern authority creation, based on chocodrink that always was the milkshake that. When people is, drink is that, and there is not one that can challenge my authority, as ruler of. When that is the practice, and the ruling state apparatus has, the system has, instituted this practice, among the peoples of Mexwicos, the hombres of, and someone something. Why you rules, and why annoy me? It is for, you drinks that, and, because I has told you to drink, that is why you already completely my subjugate. And you think something you already, drinks that, or your gay friend and father too, and I could be him. Depends on if, How your moom went then, and she caught my eye. And what? Same as now, you cannot dare say something, when what you drink. That is why. You best shake some mores, so you get that whatever you cannot say out of your mind. What gross, what detestable, what injustice, all what that onky pales in comparison of what that you drinks. The state of Aztec Mexicas Mesoamerican, why this religion of slaves, or Christian when builds on top of dead babies. And head of state, Montezumon, is first civilization to reach that level of, the scale of, that is pretty decent-sized city, could be more population than 2023 Las Vegas, and that is why Chocodrink is so importante for Mexico's. Vaquesa, for or why. The truth is grosser BTW, and this is the sanitized and how. That ever possibles, Mexico's version of then reglas of statecraft and authority creation of more expansive than patriarch or warrior leader, or even a war technical bronze person, this builds a nation almost. An ironclad yet loose and almost watery, from this communion of drink diarrhea as that is wherewith and along the spritz of the common, forms the cultural identity of quiet, unshakable except the shakes that forms the drink. And from that first days to now, this drink is so importante to Mexico's, is why the essentia of Mex-Huaycas is Moreno, of course. Is who knows you. Jesus this when authority of Montezumon reigns with more control over, more than any modern, save when, in exceptional circumstances, when soldiers, you must that way, pilots and whatever, same that way. Stupid. Pharaoh, what did someone believe whenever and whenever? That other thing is called, you going to miss your moment, and someone pointed you in the right direction. Fucking dickheads. I don't think can coexist. Do I have this authority now or what? Over Mexico's and entire world too. Either that or it was gay. You pick. I all. Until something, then sure something maybe. Something not. Then and then, a system from maybe that, Bible things filtered into human brain, after 1,000 years, osmosis helped, and so wholly the rules-based rational, politico-economic system emerged. From the bureaucratic technical proficiency of probably Roman and of commerce and rules of impersonal nature and actually known and disseminated is an advance made by Germans. Why? Romans must have been capable administrators, except failed to say they as Greeks and wrote 2 books in Latin and killed those motherfucks both, Caesar and Cicero. Ruins. Empires. Business records of course, in commerce and Form 45H-69 Department VTK, and hide salt from peoples, thank you biz. This an old joke, my jizz why women keep sucks off my dicks without permissions. I might have told whoever and whatever and what is reaction? I don't remember. Has you the hib? And what? Something cereal. I still can't remember, something cereal joke 2 years. And we don't touch, and I think gays use that. How someone spends all his money on meth, that is like, if edge of death high all month, yeah at about 30 grams and you could. 1 ounce less. Half if not suicidal and probably $200. I never ever drugs ever of course BTW. Someone asked, oh my relative spends all his money on cereal and celery. How? Seriously I asked. Where is rug? The rug. Did's math, that's higher math ya way I'm about. 30 grandson 29 less and prob 200 z. I never the find the. Bob is drink what you say? The Roman censors, a very powerful office and whatever all of that, slaves should have hostage them, because always maybe they the opposition to Mexico's. Mex-Huaycas and you the what? Not one thing, no matter how much is suffers by boinged, do you get to rule. Slave revolt, and you keep the administration. Bonk them, do that accept, slaving and redistribute drug profits, Mexico's. Zero no zero and this then that most essential rational. And what the authority? Professionals with technical knowledge and proficiency garnered within that same governmental institution that. Like who is worst, you have to say. Like all your moms. Mexico's is part. Civil society might have been the bulwark against Something something, and maybe that is the albatross. And always when all egos to dungeon escuelas. Ad nauseum. At thence. You could do Hitler. Or not. Or for a while. Or maybe for a decade and a war. Bureaucracy and Americans brainwashing exceptionalism could spell doom. And I think that still don't work. Educated and you can't unlearn, you know what you know. And then, here, probably can replace every government with new graduates. Same is not same when not accept women's. Mexico's, don't bonk the woman's please. Macho menos bonk. Why me lessars bonk, milks me my baby rescues cause Hebrews so many. What is when, milkshakes are drinks that mex y costs and. Gays that gross. Fick you. Your fag hags are saying something, and it is not the gays. Then I say, how gross gays. Gyms. Chapter I brained, hers maybe or what if we shaft. And then you know story, as I brains all the how. Makes sense to me, which is like, even if quantum physics. I call out as no you didn't, and my jokes are actual still valid under the field theory. She's fucking gays. Tunneling through? Yes, as observed. Sun and experimentally. Microchips at nanometers less than 4. Quantum field fluctuations? And observed as virtual particles that pop into existence and disappears all the time. Science experiments, nothing to do with those multiverses. And parallel and all possible decisions universe or split from. Pharaoh Egypt there is Exodus where redemption. And something entanglement is not, and that the universe is probabilistic is also not. As a corollary, not a particle and wave. Uncertainty is not really. But why unfolds it detect? His bees easy his how explain the difference by detect? It don't matter, it is field so like squishes the field a bit. By detect bees easy buzz biz. By photons or anything no matter where you measure before or after. Barrier. His buzz biz bees and the field all wavy. Like light when you imagine, bounded, even laser, perfect cylinder of light of tiny radius and smack it against wall and splatter, the slots act as like diffusing the light photons and measure before, and maybe gets it very tiny field. And no matter W chi ris re, HSS his hispina benes nay needs ass. Collapses the diffusion field. Has pizzas weighs something like a field of, you do. Not understand, and I don't care you dork cunt FBI gay brain. He like how and I don't even get what he's saying, and who can understand his BSS use whose his nonsense and English is so basic, and where is it ever clear and come on. This why women's cannot scientist. His penis hiss wears Eris's penis. Watch your language, she says, after and Oliver Mex fuckboy, even before. The understand. And then, get the fick out of here, you fick mexo liver fuck who cares you, and what that is, so I continues. So, I hovers over and never touch. Is ha separate, but it's something weak nuclear force. And I say this the circuit around atomics and keeps that space. Scientists today explain the weak nuclear force something atomic decay, that spits out an electron from a neutron and then, that is a proton. Electric magnetic spectrum and photon is there with. And magnetic is a nuclear force, maybe or not. I say yes, then electron is part of nuclear, of atomics and inside neutrons and magnetic field is electrons repel electrons, where some metals could put more electrons ions to one side, and when magnets spin, converts that work energy to electricity. Electrons, and the other way when magnets, bullet trains hovers over rails. This unified the fields and sits on gravity field, which is time. Space continuum, so someone already like all crush and no movement is 0 day. And now from crush to less crush, isn't this all done? Then the beginning when beats the crush. And still then plasma soups up all the matter, energy. Gravity is twisted space, and light still has to circuit around, still very twisted space, is that plasma. Then that space untangles and empties space between clumps and light speeds. Smaller lots of black holes formations, and light gets there too. The beginning is already that big hole and then bores into that requires more energy potential to deform into the already big, as that the scientific name hole, then, is that the Big Bang is really not the right scientific description of the hole. Then the other black hole's shallow relatively ny because dissipates and releases the captured plasma in fairly quick time as space expands. This process explains why then releases of particles. Otherwise, a giant star formation, then diamonds, star dusts not. And if it gets eaten by black holes or becomes. And particles release forms what I call Young-Chung's radiation, BTW, fuck Hawkins, he is a retardo, BTW. Punk bitch steals my why, and that plasma is the shapes is more penis, and not that a ball nor a cross-section of, and edge of universe, still twists and who knows, at that edge, pulls apart all of it, at light speed, or gradually untangles to that. Someone with YB-C initials says, universe could be only on that edge, is a perspective. And hose I did all this physics between hose. Fuck Stanford too. I swear to God, what is wrong with some peeps, just how that hurts you. We don't actually physically touch per nuclear force theory. When time goes so less crush, the field is all empty. Trillion years. Still some things. Like a vibration and field that is particle and virtual. Because so fleeting, only for and real one zooms on longer. Sometimes it zooms for a while may be real. Enough, and we can't say for sure or I can't. That is all I knows about physics and no equations I know too. Newton is calculus and Einstein, field math equals plus. Things in there is descriptive of the universe. Describes field math calculus, is set of, matrices of. Delta changes over increment, vector over something so sets whatever else, approximates. Or approaches. Speed and distance and, in facts, tensors plus these. Delta is partial limit either variable change what difference. There to there and
Дух did das Duch.
What's the delta so something like? That I don't be all understands perfect calculus even let alone field maths like those are symbols the do re da do me do too. And all I know about really Stephen Hawkins. He does math field, downs their da-dee-daws by general theory, partial solutions. Newton's my moon thinkings, that is me defines Lorentz, with I worked out how to derive E and mass equivalency from Lorentz. That is very, very hard. Advanced say algebra really. Like high S school. Maybe that is already done like not derived from whatever postulates. Moon like it is NASA. Ass sasa as an as ass. The same shits. Why Einstein gets credit for this. That be an old joke for the old timers. Somebody might have accused me of anti-Semitism for this or what. Like he don't know shits about science and such. Why he says Einstein, SSS as ISS, so SSSS, cis SSS, SSI, SI, SISS. And that also is the Mexicos, they SS and they Mex killed Jews, when World War II, Travagen. Disposals crews, and built the camps. Back to Wissenschaft, like his most famous shits and such, who would? Dude, I give him credits, for general relativity. Yeah, and I as well, I say more, Mexico's was thence the pharaohs as SS killers too. And yeah, Einstein, he like fucking smarts, a genius, and he was supposedly wrong about quantum things too though. Impossibles. He outs to solve the impossible. Universe is probabilistic and such, and no such thing as instant communication. Well maybe. That's right. I comment, double impossible, and not wrong and impossible if probabilistic, and no instant communication. Then yes I agrees. And context of I is where I would answer maybe not, and that all could carries to the impossible. Maybe. But it is instant something. Noodles. Blah. Like these. Noodles be connected. He didn't believe. Oha os oso oos bunos bono oso somebody. Proved it though. Things like, I don't understand, huh? HSS Husu OSS so bow numbers. Maybe I can. It is somebody builds on math. Goddamn like. Ergo and 3 dots, and therefore sure, those whatever logical things. God you like all men are created equal. Except blacks and women's, me and such. That where logic steps in. There you the set of all such, is, minus such and such is, n to their not. This union of, so why, owe you none of that. There is un, I owe not, therefore gaze, you set and not eyes. You like suck. Anyways, that's the theory anyways. This is why Einstein is all smarts. He did math incomprehensible to use and use, most of use. Like where black holes forms, wormholes, and maybe like math of horizons. Then's math of like it might all be horizons that is from. He so all someone. With initials YBC wants not all the acclaims, sus kind, listen to him, on some whatever. I probably don't have it correct. Whatever. Sees D's ISS o not. Einst goes the. Einstein's SS. General relativity, Einstein writes that IS, VC. YC, enough is light like more than enough, and ID who more important than I all lion right. PSOS so da-da-dees, something something squares, whatever. Physics of electronics, things might be those whatever 6 equations? And, LES who that guy? Go, I should have bought the t-shirt. Why, have no idea. FBI, watched some documentaries like 8 years ago. That is alls. T-shirts. That Maxwell's equations. Fuck, equations BTW. Equations are racists with hats and shits. SOS saws you disty das SOBUSOB. Why Hawkins, get the fuck out of here. And somebody another too, you motherfuckers, you. Chapter, The Quantum Gay Wissenschaft. Gay. Quantum theory is probabilistic, and that means that theory will not allow for some computing based on the quantum theoretical explanations of the physics of quantum particles where electron and how that particular particle will behave or predict its location at that moment in time is a probabilistic. Every other physics theory is explained in definite predictive equations. Second law thermodynamics, if considers all the variables impossible, could. The Ferrari math might be best to estimate that question. Gays say this, that electron is beware, somewhere else he. Ants that probables are true is probability. That don't work, positions at the edge of universe and violation that and. Fuck carrots. After heat death and infinity of time, quantum theory could be the only explanation of the universe and random worlds would form definitely for however long duration, a second to infinity minus 1 time even as probabilistic certainty. But there is not a predictive science involved with that. Supposedly particles, photons, electrons, quarks, and quarks have additional subdivisions, gravitons and possibility and not detected. Strong and weak nuclear force is here. Or maybe these are bosons. The gay theory quantums to explain physics process based on behavior of each elementary particles. I explanations earlier that this is an impossible as a human endeavor and what could then the standard model ever hopes to prediction. The gay quantum theory gays planes the observations of physics experiments in terms of gay. The gay electron is both a wave and a point particle, and when electron pass through a barrier with 2 passageways, gays and mechs can choose between the 2 paths. Then the gay electron behaves as a wave and creates an interference pattern if not observed, and if observed, behaved like a particle, and the gay electron even if detected after pass through the barrier where that electron should have been a wave or particle. Per prior observations, but the electron will behave as a particle even though detected after passing through the barrier. The observation seems to indicate that the electron would have chosen its path undetected, so should have been a wave after the barrier, but because detected after the barrier, the gay electron still behaved as a point particle. So gays did the electron time jump back? Some gays planes as creating a multiple universe, that the universe splits there, was both, and that observation splits the universe where both were possibilities. And that decision by the gay electron or observation means that 2 universe is definite, and gays get to one of the 2 universes. Another half of gay 2, that gay just doesn't know. Another observation in quantum physics experiments is that photons' particles are entangled. The photons have characteristics of up, down, side, and some combinatrix of. Ladies, how ladies Anki sayas blowjob class is something I know you. Ladies said something. Why you ladies not in attendance and how up down, and that combinatrix isn't the reason why physics all so complicated, and how can a girl, you, ever know of the cannot get that includes the mexiliver fic boys. Get the fic out of here, you fucking fic mexiliver fuckboy, and the older mex Wycos ones are, he was. And then the who complained ladies, my office hours, get some. Then they gaze the exact same physics experiment, with gay photons, not gay electrons, and same results proved gay. And if one photon is observed as up, the other photon is. Then the bottom gay photon. These are polarization of photon particles, and sunlight is, and the effects of this physics experiment is observable macroscopically, and with 2 sunglasses, and at 90-degree angle, and oh no and something and oh yes. Some light photons pass through, and not bottom photons, and maybe at a 45-degree angle, oh the top photons pass, and at other angles, both let same light through, and none at another complementary angle, and oh no. And all of that created like ducking trillion universes BTW. WTF are you doing now, ladies? Go and go on. Why so much heat? Oh no, oh yes, and oh no. Asks is, I am unsure how photons become untangled or entangled. A light source creates photons in pairs, and that is the entanglement? Possibly so light bulbs create light. Possibles, and I dis not say, yes you is so, right? What has been observed is if one entangled particle is measured 10 miles apart at G and B. If G is measured to be up, then B is measured to be down instantaneously. Then was A always up? And math supposedly. Einstein did not believe this to be the situation and used the phrase that God did not play dice with physics. But it was determined that the photon measurement was not certain until observation. The first experiment is also observable macroscopically with light source, laser barrier another surface. And when the laser is turned on and the photons pass through a barrier with 2 paths, then at the end of the light it shows an interference pattern, which is, and when an instrument is placed to record the position of the photons before the barrier, the interference pattern disappears, and is 2 single bar or within the path of that first or second openings. Observe how? And it still doesn't explain the experiment? Gay all possible answers alls if the observation cancels the second path or destructive interferes that path, the photon still gay wave by the first observation and individual photons observation experiment gaze as well and show same gay results. And if the detection happens after the barrier, the interference pattern disappears and something gay can show that detection did not, gay by detecting before and Anki gaze after barrier, and shows that photons are still detected after being detected. The third gay observation is that the detection of the location is undetermined at moment of observation. Since gay detection measure the exact time gay photon is detected, the exact location gay is probabilistic. So gay still wave in a sense. So how did the particle ever act like a point particle? The placement of where the particle ended up. Does not that measure the exact time and location of that photon particle? Individual photons act as wave. And detection is location. Time is speed of light. Momentum and position is how I guess encyclopedia words that. Photons always travel light speed in a vacuum, so momentum is why an issue. I think small bubble of haze by this best measurement possibles and uncertain is caused by the PDF cesium precise measurement theoretically has a trade-off between. I think I can visualize. If runs a race to a finish line. And as a wave, when photon cross that line. And as point particle when. Point particle is infinite small, no area and is that an invisibility? But C means? And particles tiny and an iota measurement is material. And seems to be not only experimental quandary. How wave detected folds the wave pattern. The interference patterns are like 13 to 15 distinct bars or areas clear separations across. And observation lets 7 of 8 from barrier to end does defolds that pattern. How and why? Quantum physics. Not particularly useful. I think this entirety of state-of-art science in. Ladies, who did yakety yak and blowjob class is who has dick in. Mouth, ants isn't complicated. Not then yakety yak ladies and one serial student and instant noodle only because you was. Too much yakety yak, I heard that and onky then. My dick got in her mouth and that was why, so don't you complain about why it wasn't at your mouth. Thank you very all. Chapter, This Real Weird Science. Other side of physics is, everything else is explained by Einstein's general relativity, Maxwell. This is the field theory of physics and does get to electric. Gravitational field, electron field and magnetic field, related. Nuclear force field is comprehensive of physics then, or what? Except travel habits of particles, and do particles exist at all? We are fields. And I say this, we never touch. I hovers over. You. Probably Einstein meaning is one is right about all of, cinder blocked it. Or look Maxwell meaning, by me, well discovery already and with nuclear force field. Did he, sometimes right or I, have to use third person for humble sense, get to universal field theory, so isn't that it? Someone is fucking with science as creates retarded ideas as that is why Einstein loses battle royal and don't know shit about quantum and dead loser now. I think it's this unanswered. General relativity, the orbit of electron in an atom, and off by factor 1,000 trillion. So, what is? Maybe electron, not gravity. Electric field. Yeah, a separate field. Interrelated to that, sit on gravity field. That is in space-time. Physics is fine. Islam ICS non-insts physics isn't. Go do quantum leaps. Why I care? I didn't. Don't worry about it, next why cause all's gays should take time to refresh and suck dicks. Yeah, technically, I can drive fire truck through wall, and I have 4% chance of tunneling through to other side. Dave was unlucky in that sense or get stuck. It is true. Maybe each particle and change of all of most going through wall says infinitesimal, but why this not miracles and possibles? Try it. Minus is add in shit and more shit is less shit. That is why infinite chance to succeed. Anki with drive fire truck and brick wall all of that, 88 miles per hour exact. Is this quantum but field Einstein physics? Not all dicey. That particle or not or waves and probabilistic and time jumps must be or splits to all the possible decisions universe is quantum mechanics they new named. Any Islam ICS? Schrödinger cat is dead or not. They want to be all right about something. I fix Islam Hag interpretation? Shouldn't. I can best interpret and I might, and it is not good at all but where they in all, okay this. Is best they say I think before I do. They are in the faith intersection. Only possible to occupies there. And yes. Completely. Have to as only space possible. And as possible not as actual among possible hypothesis, but math the entire, and there is an uncertainty principle of propositions could be when AI equals B, and B might not equal AI, as that is not proven. And, if that uncertainty, it is a line. A theoretical uncertainty. And not Islamaztecs as religion, Islam exogen trying okay, condom science, or as philosophy some space of possibility. And as religion is impossible says proved. She is B, and no, she can't slavery be. And as not true does not false always as Islamaztecs, and I don't know what to feel about uncertainty regarding math can't be shown to prove all possible math true statements. And is this just another limits of human understanding, and that could be infinite knowledge where Hume goes direction of no possible knowledge and whereas I am Gather Hume's invested heavily, but also there is a completeness theorem. Math true under set theoretical is true, as long as propositional, that is part of incompleteness. God mind. All-seeing not though. And if it isn't, but it would be a line and no area means what again, cannot foreclose this possibility, then is this okay to say? Godlike mind, I take here, and you take there, the Islam. Castles and alls mechs and womums, coals. What Bible says, image. I think this all completes. logical and ends history all by other people's. I just puzzle master it. Means first to God, Yahweh second. I got there. 7 priorities. Now, Einstein Maxwell strong and weak nuclear force electromagnetic is 2 Maxwell. Who? Lorentz why not? Newton for conservation and Shakespeare for arrows. By the way, all the maths of quantum mechanics is the best answer. I don't think so, but the dongs explain is why I dong has to. But when something physics question is complexity, maybe something math could gets it there. Why not problems of something heresy perturbations because I answered in 1 minute. There ans your moom not. She just fat is fat, and folded fat is her fat. Mexico's moom that is your moom. Quantum math is not Ferrari math bitch ans this is about. Fuck your quantum math, my intuition. Plus, impossible endeavor, each and every particle what in they. Dongs, why? Zoned whatever, anything goes. Penis something whenever shouldn't, obsessive compulsive disorder brain, plus, notes is, iCloud backed up. Adver, wants to do hard things in JFK but Como. Dix, Adams Apple something OCD explains BTW already. Except this one. But email self, but it's still not illegal at all. I think I can joke say it. I can. It's in the air, it could be where you. This is physics in style, Cosmo style. Cloud ladies as I might be. Should have sucked this dick. Cloud is where, yeah you suckings it now. No choice is how that works. Apple just this. Not gets that, and this what you gets instead. Nice. Any options, and probably not. Or probably 4 bitches. I wouldn't 4, just to continue humanity. Unless like, and I just don't care enough to do that. That like someone v, watch out them boys, and her, and why. So Adam gets caught off guard is who I be. Chapter, and this ends the gay. How much crazy can someone do without gay? Not enough to start. Science, a egg place just because wants to be crazy dork king. Maybe someone because 0 bitches or mom. Shut your trap. Nietzsche, philologist and psychologist, What? When? Why? Who? How? Jews captured and the horror story unfolds out of the near middle, near east by me, I unfurls. And what fuck brains scrambles brains to fuck brains and how accomplished? It is same. What he meant to say. And Jews stole it. So maybe why? And? Everybody. Unus. Then unlearns it. Gradually, through however long that takes. A long time and still with them. I brings it. As I has 0 skin and emotional attachment and personal feelings to none of this as the reason I am in the game as the reason I do this. Something sets that mind, like when formative of. I brings developmental stage of when child. And he can be cattle, dog, it. Wolf, pig probably, maybe not a cat, very whatever else, keeps on doing stupid shit, and then transgressions to more. 2. Compete with other dorks is why he has to groupo with other dorks so he can properly gay. With lots of being cunty is maybe women's there. There was Socrates there. I brings the dark past for all to confront. As how? And to bottle up once more, after finding nothing to soothe the heart. I do not have the heart that hurts here. Fortunately for me, and I will help to bring it to the entire world as who knows something that I has put so much time into like a year. And my judgment over anyone else is, how these things must go, as I write and I opine. No one can say a thing to me. My mom was not that kind of a hoe. Sorry that your mom was hoe. I wind the entire world as that helps builds me. I be already completed, but let me see if I can add an additional layer and cake it. So, there's that, like, split baby can't be rule forever. Once known, all kinds of minds, and I prove one thing only, not one thing. Absolutely nothing on me to keep me from saying that is not me, except hide all of it. A hidden guilt, a hidden trial, hidden punishments for life, and there is no incentive for FBI to stop ever with things I say. I know, to my dying breath I say, fick the FBI, they is. Chomos BTW. Even Greeks hate. Then, where is myth of Como god or gay? Some story made up by someone good. And maybe nots? Just you play too much, I call Greeks. Or I play too. Plato, then. I go to so many and I didn't pledge ever. And whatever about pig Latin things, L will call it pig Latin as encompasses all of that, those pig Latin topic pigay Latin gay things. To uninformed is that Latin is created by adding gay to end of every, so pigay Latin gay. Whatever evidence of I have said, and I happen to be saying interesting or expert. I say others too have made this conjecture? Sure. Could be something for, and this could be what? First, like things about knowledges like someone else said. Important to you? Pi ga y Latinos ga y particularly as so. 77 is? 7y may be sure. Gamma reverse right could look Greek letter pi g g y Latin say. Chapter, Gravity bitch is how your mooms. Gravity is folded up space, inside, eddies of fields, of nuclear forces and electron magnetic forces, comprise all the fields and space paths gravity, seems through the least resistance path of space since each force, path through the flattest of space, outside. Space curves, around massive objects. The flat space paths least distance of paths longer where, space curves. Path the least distance and through eddies of folded space where, least crumpled, inside of matters within atoms of massive objects, seems, from a certain observational perspective, explains whereby special relativity, when this appears, of distorted time of spaceship travelers age less, in comparison. Treks while all warp drive spaceship transform a Lorentz space-time dilate so u-time light speed equals as I see same velocity we in universe space, thus speeds your time clock must faster v, i.e., as I see my clock time slower sets. A certain constant c space is in, without an, observational viewpoint of, whereby my contracted space appear, is relativistic from your space equals special perspective. Folded up space inside atomic forces and crumping of spaces then creates the Einstein space curvature around matter. In a massive clump of matter, like a star, the light has to travel through a lot of space, the zig of the space, crumpled in the matters, eddies of starry night fields. Gravity not a force that is holding or providing resistance. The beginning is when entire forces was formed by an energy of space unable to contain the energy from a source or whatever, biblical. That is intrinsically a flat space, scrolls, with a path of least resistance that clings to matters, nuclear forces and electromagnetic, or just bind that force still flat, pages of. Save space and be able to cling around atomic particles that are fused together. Space is always go 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 light speed. Because I think maybe only there is, then what the space. The beginning is like crunch and then. The space is not filled and mostly we are on the surface of this flat side of the funnel and local divots the 3D-ness of the universe is along the flat sides of the funnel. The funnel is the Einstein space curvature. From lots of beginning energy from beginning. The beginning energy when, most violent and that would be heat and that creates light. First was, let there be light. The standard interpretation of physics same. Except space does not need dark energy for cause, the expansion of acceleration of universe. As space is being pushed to, the flat space of surface as space becomes less dense and tangled with the other forces, spaces flatter than inertias of clusters cling less together, distances more between, of galaxies, clusters of. Eventually universe will appear static by a future observer near Earth. When only moves along with local cluster, galaxy, the remnant of sun, while the rest of pass beyond the horizon of observable universe. Within particles of eddies and within 15-dimensional space. Of math or such strings of current math works and is very similar to, hey, it is crumpled up space. Are we traveling through the horizon, and I think we are on the surface of space on bottom and edge of funnel of the space and other massive objects create local divots of space, and we are on the beginning divot from the massive energy concentration then. And this is what we are on, the entropy and arrow of time from then, as this energy is untangled or tangled and released through the divot not being flattened to get to its space quality of intrinsic properties. All standard classical physics explains where gravitational force inside atomic nucleus is, and in matters of joined particles forces. It is all vibrations, and that is forces, and is dissipated is what we are seeing. Eddies of vibrations surrounds crumpled space as a grand narrative of what explains the information of physics provided by Einstein and others combined. Gravity explained by me. Yo, it is crumping of space. Space is space. And intrinsic qualities described. Equals yay, I be happy with space. A Los Gays Mexicos, FBI Chomos, and much dorks. Center of star, core of star travels through crumpled space and 15-dimensional or such as crumpled, and the light always travels constant through space. It is just a lot of space through the core to edge of star, as zigzagging is why light is taking a while to get to edge of sun, not a gravity force holding back the light or resistance that slows the light, and although not as crumpled, the space around outside of clumps of matter is the space curvature. Einstein, he says outside matter. Me, zigzag crumpled inside. Lights through at speed in a vacuum, so you see, H. Evolution of universe. All the energy of this universe. To a tiny area in possibly infinite space, that is flat. Is a black hole consisting of the entire universe. That deformation is a wormhole kind of space around otherwise flat space. Space's inertia is flat. Some force would be required to deformation the flat to another shape. In the flatness of space, light travels at a constant momentum. And all the other forces have a constant momentum. Nothing stays in place. The basic characteristic of any force by definition is movement, which is energy that could be the vibration of space. Vibration is temperature, none and absolute zero. Lots of energy is hot. All the energy, concentrated in the beginning of the universe, created a divot of space that is more than any black hole, than the big hole of a funnel divot, deforming the flat space. Black, whatever, is hot because there is lots of energy. And it takes 1 billion years for light to travel through the zigzag space of the center of force, that is crumpled up space, by energy that swirls the space equivalent, which might be what matter is. And then photons and electrons squished and squeezed through the crumpled eddies of spaces make circuits that form around protons that capture electrons. Chapter, Light explains whatever. Lots of energy is just energy, a uniform, unified energy, and it is hot, and light is energy, and light gets out, then expands the energy further out than it was before, and cools the temperature of the entire universe, because less energy per unit of space. And the energies separate into different. Energy is heat, creation to light, and when light travels outward. When nuclear forces energy separates, when electric and magnetic separates. Ask a physics professor. Beats the crush and plasma soups up all of it. Gravity and light has to circuit around, still very twisted space is that plasma. Then that space untangles and empty space between clumps and light. Lots of smaller black holes form and light get there but already in a black hole, and that requires more energy potential to deform into already big hole than the other black holes are shallow. And those shallow black holes release the captured energy matter in fairly quick time as space expands. And then theses release of elementary particles. Otherwise already heavies, a giant star formation, and if it gets eaten by black hole or becomes. And fairly uniform release of particles forms what I call Young-Chung's radiation BTW. Fuck Hawkins. He is a retardo. BTW. Punk bitch steals my Y, and that plasma is the shapes is more penis and not that a ball or cross-section of. Chung, YB or ES priori, PGN is, as cylindrical all of, PGI, E, sick, S, space, physics MX races 2, pigs, I.C. By the way, Hawkins annoy me. All I know of this would be from Let There Be Light. Makes all C is all I know of this, letter C and is light or. C on this would be of AZ takes as mex y cos, so lose. Oh, how pagaze I mex all of what I said. And what is evolution of stars, from the universe evolution, was and otherwise there be only heavy metals, we are all star dusts, and beginning was particles, they forms hydrogens to stars. There was light, and maybe now a microwave, the cosmic background microwave radiation. There was nucleus of only the prior crumpled space created protons and neutrons, they fused to heavier via strong nuclear force. And electrons via electric force. And those two can combine without being souped up together, and simplest atom of proton and electron, and there isn't a weak nuclear force, that is a force by itself. That is just the atom forms a vortex of surrounds that keeps it from other things, or maybe it is separate force, from force amplification or something from combined forces of strong nuclear plus electric force. And there is hydrogen in the universe. Supposedly there is antimatter, and I don't know what that is, both to destructive interference interaction when come in contact. Almost equal parts and matter one because slightly more of it. No one has created or observed antimatter, so how do they know that? Probably not, really. There is then, heavy only hydrogen in universe, form the supernovas heaves dust, fuses all the rest which might be, unified until radiation tears apart into the most basic constituent parts, like almost they say this, except that is like. And God really. There is energy soup, heat and fairly consistent, because not diffusion into, but because doesn't diffuse, all the spaces, the smallest possible size and crumples. Space in a very local way, creating eddies of energies of starry nights, which is packed into the smallest space, infinitesimally to a point. This is absolute hot temperature. Heat energy above some temperatures is dissipated by heat releases energy of light. Magnetic force is electric force, so anti-force. Nuclear strong force, why protons and neutrons? Maybe it is all light, equivalent energy of that wrapped up space. Light energy packed tightly into coils form, matters of nucleus. The particles fields of energy, that atoms still mostly empty space. To form protons with a bit more something than neutrons that would be, nothing is really completely uniform, that slight difference is protons and neutrons. Electric and magnetic is light energy, clings, force weak around. Light is part of the spectrum of electromagnetic energy. Microwave creates heat. By cooking from inside out? Light goes microwave and then to heat, I guess from microwave oven magnets in the microwave appliance, makes microwave, and that energy from electricity from magnets in power plants or burns fuel to, turn magnets and magnets made from molecules, clings the force weak, then share outside traps, electrons of combined hydrogens from the before the sun were where that exploded from stars, crush, that force strong, fuse, protons neutrons traps inside, nucleus of atoms heavy metals, that weaker forces together, solid to gaseous stay, clings different, have been magnetized by electric for polar, maybe force strength similar. Antimatter and anti-force is like this? Probably. And then, Islam castle dorks muck up, what someone said, by Said. Probably not what Said said. Ever. There is people who is to purpose for do stupid things and whatever they say, is never ever. River baby and complains Pharaoh why mom who is bitch or someone else too. Chapter, court what can I cook that more? Mo's and me. Like we diffs. For like I'm satisfied and rest of who could owe, I sent some complaints in, I am all anything at all for that. I leave that alone completely, won't even mentions because it's done. Wrapped up or more wrappings then, I don't care. And emotionals will be moved and then someone else can follow up performance? Orchestra things okay. I said I'd be there in federal court anytime. That is where I go for shitstorm as where else left. Ignores then the rest. I got California courts all or up and down. My complaint isn't that. Prosecutors of Los Angeles County because oh well. And I take no cop, but maybe one in Covina because seems that is all the mistakes. And not. Fuck you justice people, shitstorm is on you and compared to, thick I got to say, cop is like okay. And shit not. How cop didn't max, did mex. Look at record then, put on board, go place the top shit and less shit. My files, rules are yet actual facts, new rules. Who and where? And lawyers are pretty damn shit. I don't know what the most complains about really. They keep saying Pharaoh wants Hebrew boys dead. Thick you, lawyer dick shit of practice by courts, same here. And I only shit to shit people's sorry shits. Anyways, never mind, I just feel, there is when is and it is here, not enough to fight. I didn't cook that more. Mose and me. Like we diffs. For like I'm satisfied and rest of who could owe, I sent some complaints in, I am all anything at all for that. I leave that alone completely, won't even mentions because it's done. Wrapped up or more wrappings then, I don't care. And emotionals will be moved and then someone else can follow up performance? Orchestra things okay. I said I'd be there in federal court anytime. That is where I go for shitstorm as where else left. Ignores then the rest. I got California courts all or up and down. My complaint isn't that. Prosecutors of Los Angeles County because oh well. And I take no cop, but maybe one in Covina because seems that is all the mistakes. And not. Fuck you justice people, shitstorm is on you and compared to, thick I got to say, cop is like okay. And shit not. How cop didn't max, did mex. Look at record then, put on board, go place the top shit and less shit. My files, rules are yet actual facts, new rules. Who and where? And lawyers are pretty damn shit. I don't know what the most complains about really. They keep saying Pharaoh wants Hebrew boys dead. Thick you, lawyer dick shit of practice by courts, same here. And I only shit to shit people's sorry shits. Anyways, never mind, I just feel, there is when is and it is here, not enough to fight. I did entire world? Maybe and I didn't and now I don't know where is this next one, like calls me a hoe, someone at Cal Bar did I thinks. Member who? I don't care and I don't have to explain, so I have problems with Psy, all members of California State Bar. Oh well. Is this about Pharaoh wants my flocks of goats? Why I shepherd I'm. My FBI money is not here today from FBI by FBI. I mean who? Is like causing most damage and who is where and what is what. Nobody not even has to do a thing, just get FBI. Point there and that's it. I picked sides already. Nobody has to join me, but I don't want fight unless someone wants. And with just I don't like you things. That is all this is. I keep it clean. Until I don't. And I still keep it fairly clean. Until I don't. And that is next game. Who is next? They Jews purchase lambs. FBI. And. That plus is next game. Bring it or I brings it there. That is next, I guess. For my FBI money and give to me. Figure it out. It is maybe 5 or 6. Cunt. FBI money I want. We are at 4 mil, with 5 p.m. clock, add $1 million to the pool paid by and only by individual FBI agents from individual FBI money from their own savings, special agents only, and not technical, admin. But those that buzzes around like what the special agents of FBI. Ends up sames. And maybe we diffs. Because, justice for my cast, do what, I can do variety. This for economic things and financial sabotage to me, and why not? This is, like rule of cops since a while back. Cops don't be messing with money ever. Or sure, FBI can do money things and investigate that my money company. And FBI says FBI can what, and who company says what FBI could take the whole company. And that my money. I could go, it should means war. They're a high bar to clear, or distance, and flocks. Goat law office fleeced. FBI wants that. Like I am like a company, and definitely a business in a field of not underground, law as in member CA bar, and why not me an accountant with title, but not CPA? But I could like tomorrow, what I need more in class requirements, I did those at UCLA extension, all the accounting courses, but maybe where whoever should be all, take your positions and draw a line there, and I should be inside that, and if not, that isn't. Precedent set by them, with agreement more than anybody here. When I be there and there. Okay, you better have some damn good in-house professionals, and I don't think so. They toast. In-house, outside, and where is what FBI wants. Look at me. There and there. That means all of that was agreement by everyone else. You have kills me in house, outside, and when I be river baby. I tried for those interested in property, and what do you have? Beans and what and where and how you say. This don't concern them then, because the fags heard. FBI has won. Flocks, and I pays with my lambs. I am only doing this. I put that agreement in there. Signed and dated, and this is then the agreement entered today for try to say that isn't valid? Nobody can now. I agreed. We are done here. It was $3 million and now that is. I agree for the agreement, I said, and write it. And this is all the agreement the fags need. Go there. Take positions behind the CPAs. And no secretaries, whoever be all says but isn't, and any partners with any possible ex. One and get there. Hey, see Bible there, of my count me still lawyer. Contract me and covel that shit with. Agreement is here. They all agreed and I put it there. And I didn't be in there. Only what happens next is I figure it out one. These lawyers are shit or what? Fuck 'em. Who wants to get behind there, behind me? Sign-ups now. In the light. Consequences of decisions. Where do things stand now? Was there one at least? Yes. And the rest of them? They agreed, as in yes, they did, as in signed and written by and approved by and enforced in. Who can say that isn't that? Not any of them. They agreed actual, as in court. River boy, evidence as in the entire discovery file, and it's up to the federal court where I do that, and that too, and then rest is I don't, and move for summary judgment, and why not, and 1 page. Appeal. Then if that is agreement, I say not yet. It still don't matter to men, they do military ops. I support. I am older okay and cast. Baby of 20 years from murder to now the melodrama will multiply as in the slight bumps and bumps in that crescendo, and that isn't what they agreed from there, and I never included such in there, but I wish, and it isn't that, and I can't the rest isn't you haven't heard the story then for me as the tragedian. It might be not the tragic you can do then I say it isn't, and what did I say immunity I guarantees this from all US government anything for anything FBI, but must get here. And they say? It is there. I didn't agree. Go without flocks and why I died. And the rest should draw that line there. I already did. River babies, dead is when Hebrews adoptees later, deaths by, whoever fickheads and get there. Agreement by all of Egypt, peoples. Dorks get got sames. Chapter Moulin Rouge is never homo. Performs like crazy and it isn't. Like huh and and that was it and took my position. With sure resolute that is all. What the fick? That isn't the can. Next time. I can do gay. Musicals are fine. Moulin Rouge. Elton John. WTF get the fick out of here. One of my favorites. Never said what they said, the California bar members or whoever all of them. I don't be like intolerance of toppin', except that one kind of be crossed, and you ask FBI. I still say not. Never changed on that conviction. So what? That was gay. Thank you very much. Please cabs and fags and go there. Appreciates help. Only there and go. And not that. Keep it civil, no sex, and forget the other thing, whatever you do but no sex. There. And I am not responsible for any of them. How can I be when I say do, something like this, were the numbers or what? Less. BTW. This is my best and not. Like it isn't and I might be. The only that can beat fag. I just don't want yes responsible for their deaths and there shouldn't be that many and take it to court. I am building the 99%. FBI outs, Mexico's all, fags too, go. They can't be an ever. I think then all should be where things were supposed to be, and my money is paid by FBI who isn't really but might keep the name and who knows. I don't. I want my money please, FBI. Where is a good place to stop there? Every time and anywhere, by FBI. I don't know how. I was waiting for transfer and blag and blah and I am why dead FBI. This sucks. Why all, who him maybe, after only 15 to 18 years later, for just Create stupid impression is allowed for everything else but what? Whoever else not me is to blame and never me. Anything like anything is how is that ever a question? Things that can be asked and cleared up and why not ask? And things that could have been just there is record of, never request, and what would never ask because proof of absolute not is now maybe. And lack of information is not evidence of anything to conclude or draw inferences. Even right now, why they FBI, so stupid to be here. Me. At me. Come on moms. Purpose, must be for, get info, for whatever interesting that FBI might not have known. How, BZZZ and BZZZ and just small stimulus that bother that makes you want to say whatevers and keep talking about everything and never does anything else besides. When quiet, it doesn't tell me I should not talk, just keep things cool. I would if I wanted, but less likely I think as I am thinking and doing other things than I keep on doing that. When things get dialed up for small sounds and annoying, gets me to mad, slight, just annoyed by, then I am going to think about why and how and who or keep thinking about, this is that. It is I think, not a be quiet things. I think it is talk about and go over and yes, way more than if I don't have that. Who wants me to talk? And why? How anything here not known to someone who would interest if knows me from that to know. What I know about that, seems they would know more than me. I guess it is the interested cops? Who needs info? FBI? I think lots of things happened and lots of not FBI groups too. Could be cops, could be neighborhood, or whoever also did things to shade me. FBI does want more info on those things, wants info on, but I feel FBI would know most of anything and why. I think did forget info on people who are around? Who would even know? To be all, something like someone is all they fault for this. Going on too much or mine. All of just imagine and imagination and not a single fact can be gleaned from or form basis for fact or what can. Duration like 6 months things means don't stop why? What changed? I have things to say, then this is do not talk and not FBI wants info kind of thing just more and more things. Maybe not my mom's yours and she fats so that's why. The matrix of this math is this has more variables than I can keep track of to meaningfully discern a pattern from non-communication directions. Who does? Like possibles could be 10 even, different organizations like COP, local where? FBI, different places like religions and private and gay, the criminal groups or cover up past crime interest as goal, then there is no unity or interest in common or could be but where and what is done by each and absolutely. There isn't something I can conclude as, this is what that is accepted some contact direct by someone on purpose to me, and there is some doubt as to, that could have been just organic, not directed to me things. Someone is just doing what someone does by going about daily life, and with this matrix, the same thing, same method of the sound or that thing, I can't be sure of any message that someone is trying to impart. It is completely jumbled, to say, not say, approve, disapprove, and my side, or enemy, or why they hear, there is not anything I can say, what that was, as actual, this is communication. Some word, yes. No, even I can't tell, they exhaust means to continue or stop. I mean, to me? Could be hey keep on, because don't let him win by cutting me off, stop talking is why someone did, to bother me and why. To keep on or keep quieter, change topic or that is topic I should see more on as, hey, is there more depth there or an angle? Or maybe just go over that more as that exact perspective is a bit loose or isn't consistent or logical or that is disapproval because correct and accusation or incorrect and false. All I am saying is, I do what I want and also I can't ever figure out what is what, like what someone wants from me. Mom thinks, stop talking, if I just stop talking, then cool or talk about something I don't see and what is suggest or just be all, mom is bothered by to bother me so surrender to, in that case scums, or good or bad intention, like hurt mom? And me at same time. Who benefits? If I follow or did what someone wanted me to do that told mom to get me to do, what does that prove? Is that some proving where to prove me something or mom is something and why someone is involved? And here, there is absolutely nothing concrete, so all this is absolute nothings. Except? Just isolation and isolate. Only thing clear-cut and absolute. Can't do on me for what? All. Of just that is wrong, and that is it with no meaning about nothing like a message of. It could only work to interrupt and disrupt then, and when this is done, think through more or move on to next issue, or look at another way, as approve or disapproval, mad or unhappy or happy. So, this is not all clear at all even if someone thinks it is. Is this calming or does this get to angering, maddening? So I don't know, and this is then to confuse what you know or to focus attention to why not so clear if something is too complex, not organized, can't do thinking. Under certain conditions where different stimulus and can't do, and I think I keep things very simple, I do through, simplify questions and narrow choices and then build a decision tree. If there are too many variables, I can't. I have enough to do, well, so much, on so little it seems, a very small set of data, and that is clearly no question as to correct results, and why is that? And I can build a world of worlds over stories that can perfectly form a system that is definite how things work or can deduce that it is actually not upon looking at it more. And how is that impossible for all the other small annoys? And what that would be, is there a way to tell, what is that purpose from that? And I don't think I can. Jesus said, give him all your ficking money, richy rich. Milk I think is goats by the lambs. Then what is the purpose of some direct these sounds directed at someone program if that lacks any communication? Then why do that as something worthwhile? Is Me Too deuce of Mexico's? White's river baby is sheep, comes from somewhere there why and why Hebrew shepherds. In titles 150 years ago to now like regular. I'm leaving a some, all, probably me same. Fags on me is then after adoptions, I baby 25 days at most, 20 years, who? Chapter, FBI is fag world. I think this is also the moms. Mexico's controlled by fag world created by something else and captured by the fags since starting 1990s into the 2000s, where interests have diverged from original goal of white supremacy to fag supremacy as evidenced by whites are facing worse discrimination and targeted because sex preference of fags who are of same background for a lifetime of rape and sex mutilation ending in yes and amputation of penis and sex change and what is. Not through interview and personal or surveillance. When, what age, how long. Why I lefts, comes back and spreads the word, worlds then, now woods and Jewify the rest if. Fuck you, mom's fag is completely demented, or some just demented by the system of sex rape that fags put in place, so, sure two gays could be whatever, an innocent byproduct of system of that, some, but probably who knows. I don't care about fag, world and I don't look into fag shit, but fags did, mine and everyone else, and that means fucking faggot hell. It would be so easy. It would have been, not, what the brain fag, which is, there isn't many or not the most, of fag. World would have done because sure reach same conclusions even. But, power of the fags, below, allows that fag master to be more influential. Someone below did, and no truce between me and fag now. Moses is she is trues like Sneaks and Mamie JFK. What is? Fags think can win with fag issues and actually bring up the fag issues to make that issue and what the fick is that either way. So, this is fag creating fag issues for fag fight. It is just sure ignore or non-issue but they did, so it is fag controversy because let's look at fag world about sex because wants to look at my sex world, which is private, this is fag issue. For fags that ends bad for fags. They didn't stop because they didn't. Yes, do move of that. Why fag wanna start? Christians and stupids lose on fag. Issue or what? I am sorry about fag issue confessions. Fuck, I am aggrieved by the fag issue creation and used for court system implicate stupid. I swear to tell you on the stack of me as a river baby, more and lots crybabies and so. Chase, ends, bonked please, we needs to gets along. Fuck your fag world causing issues that I make like I hate. Fucking faggot for fag issue that FBI agent of fag who is actual with Colburn that is actual murderer and fag is one who is orchestrating the fag things that I am like I don't care about fag world sex fag shit, but I will completely go on fag rampage. With all things fags from here on out. did not stop your fag hags like fag FBI agent from doing fag shit. That is not really a non-thing. For sure only non-faggots and faggots don't give shit, and I don't give shit about all the fag implicating shitstorm I'm going to start.